Hello everyone, and welcome to day 6 of the 31 day in the moment cleanse. And I'm Sarah Raleigh, and I get to show you what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. And so I'm excited about that. It's my sugar-free dinner. I remember thinking like, what the heck am I going to eat, the first time I did this. So it's exciting, and I feel really grateful to be able to share with you guys what I get to eat. So before I do that, I wanted to talk about the power of now, and one of the things that Eckart mentions is that you be the watcher. So you're watching out for what kind of thought patterns your mind keeps saying to yourself. So it's really like my soul is just watching what my mind is saying, and that's taking away from identifying with the mind and putting the identification where it belongs, on my soul. And one of the things he says to look out for, if you're going to be looking for you're going to want to look out for unconscious thoughts. So he says, like, consciousness is living in the moment and not worrying about future and the past. Your concern is with this moment right now. Whatever it is you're doing, if you're changing a diaper, if you're washing your hands, if you're putting your child to sleep, if you're holding your loved one in your arms, if you're having a conversation with somebody, even if it's, a conversation that isn't going very well, just being in the moment. And so what you're looking out for is mentally, if you're being unconscious, then you're going to have judgment about either the situation you're in, or a person, and it can be a judgment. You're thinking, that past tape from the past about yesterday, like, oh gosh, they made me so mad yesterday, and you're judging them, and you're like, they need to do this, and they should have done this, and like, that's judging someone, and you're not accepting what they did, like, they should have came to work on time. It's like, well, they didn't come to work on time. Like, that they didn't. And it's upsetting you, and instead of, like, having a conversation with them about it, you're, like, going over to somebody else and saying, they should come to work on time. Like, that's not living in the moment and touching base with that person when they, about when they came in late. That's unconsciousness. So that's one thing to look out for. And then the other thing he mentions is that it'll come up emotionally as negativity. So I'll hear one of my kids crying. It'll be really quiet nap time. I'm in the room all by myself for a half an hour, and it's sometimes an hour, and it can be a scary, negative feeling when I first hear that kid, like, just, ah! And, like, I have 12 one-year-olds sleeping, and one of them is awake screaming, and I'm just like, oh, all these kids are gonna wake up. Like, that, like, burst of, like, I get really worried, and I'm like, oh no, and, the thing that I've found is when I have let that unconsciousness, like, run away with itself, when I go over to, like, comfort the kid, like, I'm like, it's okay, like, this face, like, look like everything's okay. But then when I just acknowledge that and I stop thinking, like, they should be sleeping right now, like, I'm all by myself, they should be sleeping. If I stop that and just say, they are awake, they are crying, and all the kids could wake up, like, and I let that just be, and I go over to the kid, and it really relieves a lot of, I don't know, it feels like this pressure is like released, and you know, I go over to the kid and I rub their back. I'm much more calm. So I find I've done this before. I'm really putting this into practice at that time because it's a tough time for me. I find that they calm down quicker, and they actually calm down. Like some of the times in the past where I had that negativity and I was like, "It's okay, you're all right, it's okay, everything's great." Like the kids didn't calm down until one of the teachers came, and you know, I had half the class awake, and I felt bad. You know, I felt so, you know, bad. Like they come in and all the kids are like, almost all the kids are awake, and I felt like, you know, I was judging myself, thinking, gosh, you're not good at this because you let all the kids wake up, you know, and like I'm having judgment on myself. So, yeah, that's an example of how unconsciousness can creep up. And how just accepting what is so much more simple. Just because, you know, usually during nap time it's quiet and all the kids are sleeping, doesn't mean that every day is going to be like that. And if today, right now in this moment, is different than that, it's different from the past, then that's just how it is. It's much more simple. So, yeah, that was my little rant. Hope that made sense to you guys. And I'll show you my dinner for tonight. So here it is, spinach with a quinoa, oh no, it just fell apart, the quinoa salad, and let's see if I can fix this. Okay, alright, I had it all fancy and everything. And so yeah, it's quinoa salad. I just chopped up a bunch of little vegetables, tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumber, red onion. Oh, I love red onion. It's so good. And then I even, like, I took advantage of this moment to make it presentable, and I took a scooper and I scooped it in there, and then I like put little cilantros and I cut little things of carrot, and it's like this is a fun opportunity to appreciate my food, and it really sends a message to me when I was creating it, and I know that I'm going to consume it. It's really sending a message to myself that that I'm worth it, and that I'm worthy of of that little extra effort. And yeah, so that is my journal log for the day, I guess you can call it. Thank you guys so much for your time, and you guys are taking really good care of yourselves. Namaste.